What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stream Kings with
Dream Kings.
your boys Money Mike and Danny D. Back at it. It's good. This feels good. A couple days later than typical, but we're here. That's what matters. So today, go ahead. You had something on your mind.
That was just a noise my mouth made. I wasn't about to say anything.
Cool. I did that earlier today. I was just talking to somebody at work and I said, and they were like, they stopped what they were saying. Like they were waiting. And I was
Like,
like,
like, go on, right?
I actually don't have anything else to say. I was just saying, because I don't know what to.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah.
That was
Sorry. Oh, goodness. But today, if you can't figure it out based off of my themed gear, talking about the 1984 classic Ghostbusters.
Mm.
Stinking classic.
Iconic.
So good. So good. Stands at a 95% currently on Rotten Tomatoes, which we say this every time, and I'm going to keep saying this. It's not the
Right.
end all be all, but I think this is a pretty good indicator of this movie and where it stands and its quality. So, very well done. Currently available for streaming on Hulu for all my Hulu people out there. I looked it up. It said it was somewhere in the 25 to 30 million dollar budget. I was like, how do you not know? Like, do you not have to keep up with this kind of stuff?
You're like,
Whatever.
eh,
Um,
give or take. Give or take,
yeah.
10 mil.
Just ballpark it. Made
Mm.
295 million in 1984, which I thought, I just out of curiosity, I looked at the whole like box office adjusted for inflation. This movie in today's dollars would have made $652 million, which is right below Avengers Infinity War. So just as like stacking it up where that
Mhm.
goes, like that's pretty impressive. I think it was like 37th or something. I don't know, somewhere around there, all time.
Mm.
So great movie. As you kind of alluded to and mentioned, like this is a pop culture classic. You know, this movie loved spawned many movies. One that came out this last week. I'm not going to get to
Mhm.
see it until next week, but looking forward to that. Movies, TV shows, video games, T-shirts. I think my mom got this one at Kohl's, um, and
I think my mom got me
lunchboxes.
this one.
Yeah, I think she did, and she did not get me this, but little plushies.
Little plushies.
Gotta love them. Gotta love them. So this movie still impacts us to this day. So Dan, why don't you get us started off? How were you first introduced to Ghostbusters?
Um, this is another one. There's going to be a lot that we probably go over where it's like, I just always remember having seen it,
Mm-hmm.
like a long time ago. But if I had to guess, I know that I was really into like ghosts and stuff like that when I was younger. Still am,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And so that was probably one of the few ghost related movies that I was allowed to see.
Yeah.
And plus it's just fun. Like I always enjoyed watching like Bill Murray. I always like
Mm.
watching like Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
Always have really enjoyed like their humor. And so I remember watching it, I would assume younger, but I mean I've seen it countless times since
Yeah.
then, even as like an
Sure.
adult. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
Similarly to me, I don't really remember the first time I watched it, but the first time I saw anything Ghostbusters related, any of my Universal fanatics out there will remember this, but they still have like a facade of the New York Public Library in the park, and they used to have a show out there. And it was it was really kind of weird. It was like music, and I distinctly remember it was guys dressed up as Ghostbusters, and they were singing like way too sexy. Like, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt.
right, right.
Yeah. I just had to sing it a little bit.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I
Just to
don't
make
know
sure
what.
everybody knows what you're talking about.
Make sure when you know what song I'm in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then I think I didn't own it until I got the PlayStation Portable, and I'm pretty sure my mom had bought like some bulk ones on sale.
Wow. The
I was a PSP
PSP.
guy. Yeah.
Didn't expect
R.I.P.
to talk about that during the Ghostbusters
Uh,
pod.
I like to throw curveballs. Um, she bought it for me, and I remember watching it, and I was like, "This is awesome." It was probably the first time I watched it like beginning to end. You know, I probably caught
Hmm.
like bits and pieces of growing up, but immediately
Hmm.
loved it. So
Hmm.
and went from there. So and now I watch it every year, if not on Halloween, like right around Halloween. Which I know it's not like a horror movie
Right,
necessarily, but it's in that same realm to me. So
right. I mean, it's ghosts, you
yeah,
know,
literally in the
spirits.
name.
It's. I wouldn't say horror, but I mean, I'd classify it as Halloween.
Yeah,
A Halloween movie.
sure.
Good Hallows Eve watch.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So we're kind of talking a little bit about that. So it's quotable. It is super funny, but it's also serious enough. I think like the overall theme is it's hilarious. It is a comedy, but also
Hmm.
like they do a good job of making it serious at times. But I didn't realize this like until doing some research for the pod. But apparently, a ton of this movie was just improv. I mean, you
Hmm.
put like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, like all of these guys together, Rick Moranis too. Like you put them in a room, and they're just having fun. They're just going
Right.
at it.
Hmm.
One of the fun facts that I found was that apparently the whole like the scene with Rick Moranis' character when they're in the party, he ad libbed that entire thing. Like that was not scripted. They were just like, "Hey, just go have fun." So it's just him talking about vitamins and deals on salmon, and it just, but it's perfect for his character. It's so good. Good,
Right.
good old Lewis.
Another fun fact is that that part was originally supposed to be John Candy.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I have a lot. Which, if you have more of those, save them because I have a lot of like some casting questions. I think like some what ifs and
Right.
almost. So,
Okay.
but that that would have been interesting. I think he would have done a good job too. So, but um, also, I thought the effects were decent in the movie. Like, not great. You can definitely tell it's like 1980s, but they made Sigourney Weaver like levitate above a bed for a bit. I was pretty impressed with that. I thought it was pretty solid.
That was pretty good. I mean, there's a handful of times where um it's like wow, this is an 80s movie, you know. But then there's other times where it's like, okay, wow. That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Like
That
I thought
actually
they
looks
did
pretty
it.
yeah.
Like Slimer, I thought too was pretty good. Like they got that ghost down, but then you have
Hmm.
like the dog like running through New York, and like you
Yeah,
can clearly
running through the apartment building and everything. Yeah.
yeah, that's not so great. But I thought it was good for the time. And I think we can all appreciate that. So, um, one other really cool thing I think that's great about this movie is it's got incredible one-liners. Just like to this day, like I just wrote down a few.
Hmm.
One obviously iconic. Who you gonna call? Like with without hesitancy. Is that a word? It is now.
Yeah, that's
If
a word.
anybody
Like without
hesitancy,
hesitation.
that's probably the correct way to go about saying that. But without hesitation, when somebody asks me like, "Who should I call?" I'm like, "Ghostbusters." It could be a super serious conversation about like, there's an emergency or like, I can't
Yeah.
find something. I'm just
I've
like,
just
let's
broken
call
my leg and
Ghostbusters.
there's nobody around. What should I do? Who am I going to call? Ah, the Ghostbusters.
No, but actually,
No,
I just
no, I
can't
can't
help it.
walk. Who am I going to call? I just told you, Ghostbusters.
I'm going on break. There's no other manager here. Who am I going to call? I don't know. Somebody else. Ghostbusters, I guess. Another one, and you texted this to me the other day, but that's one big Twinkie. Like it's it's good. It's funny. Um,
It's hilarious. And like the deadpan, it's like I think the whole scene itself is hilarious. It's like, hey, they're trying to explain the thing to oh, who's his character?
Winston.
Yeah, Egon's trying to explain. He's like, imagine it as this Twinkie. Like, that doesn't make any
Mm,
sense. But somehow, like the metaphor does, and he just plays with it, and there's like a little pause. There's like, that's a big Twinkie.
Yeah, I think he
I don't
described it
know
as
why.
30
I
feet
don't know why
tall.
that's
I was like,
specific. Yeah,
can you imagine a 30-foot tall Twinkie? That's
that's
that's one
unhealthy.
big Twinkie.
That's
It is
unhealthy.
unhealthy. Another one, are you the key master? Again, when it comes to
Mhm.
work related things, like somebody might need me to check like keys out for them or something, and I'll make some kind of joke about, I just make jokes at work most of the time. Like, are you the key master? I'm the gatekeeper.
Mhm.
I don't know, just like one offs.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't cross the streams, a great one. Um, when someone asks if you're a god, say yes.
Say
uh,
yes.
say yes, say yes. Anything, any of those stand out to you, or any other ones?
Just the whole opening scene with Bill Murray doing the test with the cards. Like that whole scene. I mean, it's not even necessarily one-liners, but like the whole interaction was like, oh, this is great. This is classic, like Bill Murray. You know, it's like, oh, you
Yeah.
can't see these, can you? Like, what's going? Clearly getting them wrong, and then the guy gets them right, gets the final one right. It's, like,
Hmm.
it's three squiggly lines. Like, I
It's
don't think
not your
so,
day,
buddy.
pal.
Not your day, pal.
I'm getting a little tired of this. Fun fact, I used that as an example for negative reinforcement in business class at Union.
Mhm.
I just like, we got to just find video clips of stuff and just bring it in. And I was like, here you go. I'm going to teach you how negative reinforcement doesn't actually work because this guy's corrupt. But, goodness. All right. I got a couple questions, just kind of like random ones that came to mind. Um, was this the best originally created song ever? The Ghostbusters theme song, not counting like like a orchestral theme.
I could say that. Yeah, I think based on like sheer, I don't know that I'd say best, but I'd say that like one of the most pop culturally relevant original songs. I think it
That's
could
good.
easily be up there.
That's good. I like that answer. I
Mm.
think I thought about it. I landed on no. I think just in recent memory, like "I'm Just Ken" was probably a better song, in the Barbie movie. But
Right.
I thought this one was really great, and apparently had a lot of issues writing it at first. Because I think if I remember correctly, they wanted to call the movie "Ghost Smashers," and that just didn't really like have a ring to it. And I think Ray Parker Jr. ended up having to like do it like a marketing jingle to get it like to be catchy and to be good. And I think
Right.
it is. Like
Yeah, I
I
saw
think
that too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So well done, Ray Parker Jr. May not be the best, but you're up there. Also, how do you think these guys became friends? Like they are not very similar at all. Like they're just
That's a
very random
good.
put together.
I don't know. Because I mean,
Like
there's
you think
times at the
these
beginning where Bill Murray doesn't even act like he cares about any
that
of it.
See, that's why that was a big one for me. Like, there's no way that Venkman's hanging out with these guys unless if
Right.
one time, like in college or something, they were like, "You guys are stuck together on a group project, and you guys just have to work together." I was like, "Okay." And I guarantee Bill Murray is the one that didn't do any work, and Egon Spengler did all of it, and they all got credit for the group project.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, it
I
just,
don't
but
know.
yeah, I don't. I need a. I don't know that I say I want a prequel, but I need somebody to give me the answer. Where did this all start?
Where did this start? How do these guys meet? How do these guys meet? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Ta-da, some fun facts, some little things, little snips.
Mhm.
So the 5,000 that they were going to charge for capturing Slimer would be about
Mhm.
$15,000 in today's money. So $15,000 to catch a ghost, not too bad. These guys are
Not too
raking it
shabby.
in
Not
after
great,
a
not
while.
bad for a night's work, right?
Yeah, I take it. Although these guys were exhausted. And then also our guy, Reginald Val Johnson. I don't know if you he had made a brief cameo as a police officer once again. I love that guy. He's so great.
Incredible. Absolutely
For
incredible.
those for those of you guys who didn't check out my old podcast, you said it best, brother. Dan and I talked about Die Hard and our guy Reginald. You know, and it just, oh my gosh, welcome to the party, pal. There we go. I can't
Yeah,
believe I forgot
yeah.
that line. What the heck? What the heck? So he
You say that like
definitely
10 times a
is.
night during Call of Duty. I don't know how you forgot it now.
I know. I know, right? It was I crumbled under pressure. So any before we start hopping into like categories and some stuff like that, anything else just generally about the movie that you that came to you, or other questions that came to you, or whatever?
No. Just I think one of my favorite scenes though is where they're picking the firehouse. I don't know why,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like they're looking around, they don't really want it. Egon is like, this isn't gonna work, man.
He said
And
this
then
place should be condemned.
it's funny. He comes out and says, you guys seen this pole? Does this thing
It's
work? And he
great.
slides down, he's like, oh, this is awesome. This is perfect. We should spend the night here. We should
When
absolutely
can we
spend the
move
night
in?
here. Can we yeah.
Also, that firehouse was pretty lit too. Like when they actually
Right.
like redo it and
Mhm.
everything, they had like arcade games. They had, I mean, yeah, it was really just the arcade games that got my mind there. I was like, that's what I want my house to be eventually. So everybody takes out a
Yeah.
third mortgage to get a to
And it's
get
like,
one
no,
of
I grew
those.
up in this house. Everybody's doing a third mortgage these days.
So good, man. So good.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, like, and honestly, I think going back a little bit, I guess, like, the humor is great, and like you can tell, like they were just having fun, and I think that's what like kind of makes this movie special, is you feel like those guys are all playing off each other, and it's not.
Hmm.
Um, they definitely went off script a lot from what I
Hmm.
read, but I think it's all for the better. So they
Hmm.
did an incredible job. So,
Yeah.
which is going to make one of our categories a little bit harder. So, all right,
As always.
I know, it's always the toughest one. All right, starting us off. Has our boy Dustin Robertson seen this movie?
I don't know if did we ask him the other night?
We did. We asked him while playing Call of Duty if he'd seen it,
And he said
and
no.
he didn't disappoint. We knew he was going to say no, but he did say that he would be interested in seeing it, that we could convince him, which, I think we've got some potential to maybe turn Dustin into a movie buff. We keep
Here's
talking
a
about
fun
good
fact.
movies.
I'm actually live right now from Dustin's house. From Has Dustin Seen This Movie award, watching his
That's a
dogs for the weekend.
Which is very kind of you. That is a fun fact.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm getting paid, so I don't know how kind I am, but you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. One of these days, we'll get Dustin to see one of these movies. We'll have a good
Right.
time. All right, Disneyfication award. Could this movie be made into a theme park attraction, and if so, what kind?
I think you've already touched on it. It is, in a sense, it has been a part of a theme park pretty regularly. Um,
Yep,
I think you and I went to, it was at Halloween Horror Nights one year, wasn't it? When you and I
it
went,
was. It was. Yep. 2 years ago.
which is kind of like a theme park ride.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I definitely could.
Yeah. I also said yes, as I kind of alluded to already, but I think they could do more. I think if they wanted to, like, I think Universal is great at screen rides, and people can say what they want about screen rides, but I think that would be fun. Like I was imagining kind of like one of their like the screen rides, like 3D, almost like, hey, we got to catch a ghost. Hey, come with us. You're like
Mhm.
a new person on, almost like you're being inserted as like Winston, and you're like, all right, we're going out for our first run, and it's just insane somehow. I
What,
think
what
I
if
think
it
that'd be
was,
fun.
yeah, and what if it was like if money's not an issue, what if it was kind of like the Millennium Falcon ride, Smuggler's Run,
Ooh,
where it's like
yes.
you can get, or even like a mix of like that and like the Men in Black ride, and you have
Mm-hmm.
like the proton pack things, and you have to shoot at, because like in Smugglers you can turn it, you switch, you turn, you can shoot, and you have to
Right.
repair and all that stuff, and then the Men in Black you actually shoot at. What if it was like a mix of those two?
That'd be pretty sweet, actually. I like
Except the
that.
Millennium Falcon, it's Ecto 1.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Universal. You can't come after us for that one. Heard it here first on Stream Kings. Actually, they
Correct.
probably haven't heard it, but that's okay.
That's right.
All right.
On the off chance they have, this is where you heard
This is it. This is it.
it. This is
So
right here.
I may be going out of order, but I wrote down the categories in which I remembered them. So trading places, which is always one of our most difficult categories
Hmm.
to identify. Like if somebody from acting history, was to be inserted into this movie, who are you choosing and why? And I kind of alluded to this, but there are a lot of like interesting like casting like what ifs
Hmm.
that were here, and I was gonna rattle a few of those off if that's cool with you,
Yeah, go for it. You'll
and
probably
then we
hit
can
on
kind of go
one of
into it. So
mine as you do that, but
okay,
that's
well I don't
okay.
want to take one, but yeah.
No,
So
you go ahead and do it. I'll
um,
let you know after.
cool. So
So,
Winston Zeddemore was initially supposed to be Eddie Murphy, or rumored. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff on the internet like he was going to do it, and then some people were saying like no, he was never going to be part of Ghostbusters. But um, it that's supposedly why Winston is only in like really the second half of the movie because they couldn't figure out
mhm,
who was going to be in it or if any there was going to be another person. So I thought that would have been fun.
mhm.
That would have been pretty cool. I loved. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the actor's name. I thought he did a really good job, but Eddie Murphy would have been fun. Another SNL cast character in there. Um, Bankman initially it was supposed to be John Belushi. That's who was written for at first. I think you could have put Aykroyd and John Belushi together. That also would have been fun. And then Spangler. Go ahead. You were gonna say something, or is that your mouth just making noise again?
That's my mouth making that noise again.
um, I thought this one was interesting. This one had a pretty long list, but yeah, Harold Ramis. He.
So this
Go
is
ahead.
this is off topic, but I have an emergency at work I have to take. I am on call this weekend.
Oh, 10-4. Okay, then
So
we'll stop and
I
we'll
don't know if you can
renew
edit
it.
or whatever, or if you
Sure.
can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So sorry about that. I actually did have a work emergency. So for those of you who don't know, I am a licensed social worker with a substance abuse treatment facility, and sometimes even if you're off the clock, you're not entirely off the clock. And so I had a
I
call about a
understand
client,
that.
and oh yeah, you're the key holder. So and I am the designated key holder, aka on-call counselor, this week. So sometimes that may happen in the future. I apologize if it does, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But
Yeah. No, things
anyway,
happen
we're
for sure.
back, ready to go, talking about casting choices. Were
All
you done
right.
with
Yeah.
yours, Mike?
No, so Spengler. So I
Yeah.
was saying Harold Ramis initially,
Hmm.
like when he was like doing some writing and working on the movie, he initially like was not planning on being in the movie at all,
Hmm.
and there were pretty good list I thought. So Christopher Walken,
Hmm.
Christopher Lloyd, Jeff
Hmm.
Goldblum, and John Lithgow were all mentioned as being like potentially cast as the Spengler character. Um, Personally, I think the only like Jeff Goldblum, I don't think would have worked. He's too cool. Like I don't think he could have.
Right. And my actual casting choice was gonna be, I again, and I'll say this too, I wouldn't change this, but if I had to and put Jeff Goldblum anywhere, I would have swapped him with Bill Murray.
Ooh, that would have been good. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that a lot, actually. That would have been fun. Like maybe not
Right.
quite as funny, but he definitely
Right.
had like the charisma and like
Hmm.
um the game. Although it's kind of funny that Bill Murray like actually seems to not really like have a lot of game, but it works out somehow. I don't know.
Right. And
Anyways,
yeah, and I think that that's just him though. Like he just makes it work. You're right. Like I guess on the surface, you wouldn't think Bill Murray does have that, but for some reason, in this movie, the way he plays it, he's got it, man.
I
He's
actually
got the
wrote it.
riz, as the kids would say these days.
I actually wrote down, I was
Did
like,
you write
that's
that?
definitely how Bill Murray like actually tries to pick up chicks. Maybe not anymore because what, he's like 80 years old, but
Right.
yeah, back in the day, that I feel like
Hmm.
that's his game. So to our category then, is that your choice for recasting then?
That would be my choice. Yes.
Okay, no, I think it's a good choice. I struggled probably a little bit more with this one than some of the other ones. I did settle on one. I did not recast any of the Ghostbusters because I thought they all did a pretty good job. Even though
Hmm.
Eddie Murphy would have been cool as Winston, I actually am gonna try and recast Dana Barrett, Sigourney Weaver's character.
Hmm.
Not that I didn't like her in the movie, like definitely one of the best actors of like the best actresses of the 80s, I think in that time
Hmm.
frame and after. But I thought if I could have inserted Gal Gadot in, like taken her now and put her
Okay.
in the 80s, like I think like she can be kind of like book smart, kind of like Dana's character, kind
Hmm.
of like, I mean, she's obviously Gal Gadot is like, she's very beautiful, but I think she's kind of like I don't know, she seems kind of normal too at the same time and like approachable. And I think that was one of the cool parts about Dana Barrett is like,
Hmm.
she's not like super intimidating, but she's obviously like out of Bill Murray's league. So
Right.
I don't know.
I think that's even like Diana's character in Wonder Woman too.
Yes,
You know,
that's
just
exactly
sort
what
of
I was
like
thinking of.
just works at a museum. You know, no big deal. You know,
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody that attractive at a museum, but doesn't mean they're not there.
been going to the
You
wrong
know,
museums.
yeah, I have actually. I haven't been to a museum in a while. Maybe that's the problem. I just
I,
haven't been to museum.
I think her banter with Bill Murray would have been just as fiery, or if not more so. But
Hmm.
that's my choice. I think it would have been fun.
I think that's a good one.
Um, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't always had good ones for those, so I feel like
They're
that
hard.
one's
They're
pretty
hard to
solid. They
do,
are.
especially if you're
Yeah.
attached to a specific movie and set of characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
Michael and I most definitely are to this one. You don't want to mess with it, but
Yeah.
it is when you start thinking about it actually really fun to think about other actors and the way they would play off each other in that movie and make it, make it different and then kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah, for
I like
sure.
doing that.
A quick aside, like talking about being attached to this movie, like on my letterbox, like this is one of my top four movies. Like this is not that it's one of the best four movies ever made, but it's one of my four favorites. So
Hmm.
it, like you said, definitely attached to it. It's tough, but got to do it. All right, national treasure. So what item or yeah are you going to be taking from this movie set?
The salmon from the party looked pretty good.
You could have got a heck of a deal on it too. Lewis can tell you
Got
all
a
about
really
it.
good deal on that salmon too. Um, this one's tough because there's so many like gadgets.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that I would have gone with like the trap, the ghost trap.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I almost went
Mhm.
with that one. But I thought that after many occurrences of you taking a vehicle, that it was my turn. So I'm taking the Ecto one.
I do
Like
love taking vehicles. That's why I didn't
I
take it.
I love that car. Like the siren, just like how it's a hearse that they've just turned into like a
Hmm.
pretty like dope car. Honestly, like it's just I love it. There was one when I worked at Universal, one of the team members there had like it wasn't exactly like it, but it was another vehicle that had kind of been souped up to look like the
Hmm.
Ecto one, and I was always super jealous of it. I was like, this is awesome. I want it.
Are you gonna
So
make your? Are you gonna do that to your car?
no,
Not
maybe
even, not
someday.
even like a sticker or anything.
I have a Jurassic Park sticker currently on my car, but
That's right.
maybe someday, maybe if it comes off, maybe the next car. Or if I become independently wealthy someday, I'll just have a version of the XO1 just sitting on the parking lot.
That's ideal. That's the ideal play.
Yeah. So maybe once we get like 1 million subscribers, then I'll just buy one.
Right. Once this is our sole source of income, maybe.
Oh man. All right. Hot date. Who you taking on a date? Date, hanging out, whatever.
Oh God. Um, let's see. Janine.
Same. Great minds, dude.
Janine.
Yeah, I'm going on an actual date with Janine. Like she's just like I don't know. She's super sassy, got that like New York like
Right.
personality. Like I
Hmm.
don't know. Yeah, she's just really awesome, I think.
But if I had
Um
to pick a guy to like hang out with, I think I'd pick Egon.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You wouldn't be bored. He'd be talking about
Yeah.
something random.
Exactly.
Some like Babylonian goddess. Just like,
Yeah, but
"Oh
I like
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. No, it would be pretty interesting. You would, yeah, would definitely not be bored. My second was Lewis's party at the date or date at the party. I couldn't find her name, but
Oh, the
blondes are
blonde girl?
yeah, typically my type. So
What, tall, blonde, and not interested?
I thought she was interested. She just wanted to leave the party because it was boring. What are you trying to say, Daniel?
I didn't say I'm not. I'm just just going with what I saw in the movie.
Just a casual observer. Okay.
Just casual, objective observer.
Okay. Cool. Got it. Noted. All right, moving on to the. This is a new category. Daniel and I just thought of the name right before we got on. The Bonesaw Award. So,
Bonesaw is ready.
yes,
It's like
to
love it.
reference to reference one of the best actor cameos or wrestler cameos in a movie.
Hmm.
Yes, we're going to be inserting a wrestler. It could be an actor, could not be. In this case, I chose one who did star or appear in a film. But if any wrestler could have been in this movie, which one are you choosing and why? And if you want me to go first, because I actually like thought of it, I can. Like I right before, unless if you have one.
No, you go ahead.
Okay,
I mean,
I
I know
think
who, but I just
you know who I'm putting.
no. I know who I'm picking, but I want I
Oh,
want to
okay,
hear
gotcha,
you
gotcha.
pick first.
Okay, I want Andre the Giant. I think he
Okay.
would. I think he would have been perfect as one of the ghosts. You know, when there's like the big like montage of them like coming out after that. I'm not gonna say the word because just in case.
Hmm.
No, I'm going to. Um,
what,
the
what a
dickless
tease.
guy, the dickless guy. It's
Yeah.
true. This man has no dick. I love that line. But when he shuts down the power grid and all of
Yeah.
the ghosts go everywhere. Like I think Andre the Giant, like he's an intimidating looking guy, but also kind of like fun and
Hmm.
unassuming. And I feel like that kind of fits the vibe of the movie. I think he would have
Hmm.
been a fun little cameo. Like just kind of you just see him like, I don't know, hanging out at the park, just on a bench. I don't know, doing something wild.
Hmm.
Nothing crazy.
Right. Let's see. I think I don't know where I'd put him or what he'd do, but I'd want Macho Man Randy Savage in this movie or Ultimate Warrior. I think Ultimate Warrior fits better because like his makeup and everything is like super 80s.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ric Flair would be good too.
Yeah.
There's a
If you
long
let me,
list.
I'd pick Ric Flair for every time we did this.
Would this movie
Him or
be better
Stone
with Ric
Cold.
Flair in it?
Would this movie be better with Stone Cold and or Ric Flair? The answer is yes,
Always.
always. Mm.
Oh goodness, I like that category. I'm glad that we decided that we're gonna do that. So good stuff. Moving on though, Goat Award, best performance. Who won it?
Bill Murray.
Agree.
I think
Why?
it's got. I mean, I don't really have anything to add. I don't have any reason why. I think it's pretty. Everybody did a really good job. This movie's
Mm-hmm.
so popular even to this day because of everybody's acting across the board. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Bill Murray does the best.
I think I agree with you. I think because you have to watch him in every scene, and you're just like listening. Like what
Mhm.
quip, what one liner is he gonna say that's just gonna like really like catch you off guard? And even like on this last rewatch, like a few different times, I noticed like he played this character perfectly. Like
Mhm.
even in the like so many of the scenes like where they're trying to like finally go catch a ghost, whatever, he's just like,
Mhm.
all right, you guys got this, go right ahead. Like it total like he's just there to like have fun and kind
Mhm.
of be part of it. And
Right.
I think he just really embodied that character that he did fantastic.
Mhm. And I
So
think you're right though. Like you have to watch him, and you're kind of like, what's he gonna say next? Even though you're doing that with the other characters, but like with Egon, you know he's gonna say something weird and sciency, and he's
hmm
gonna say it really deadpan, you
flat,
know.
yep.
And you know Ray is gonna say something really paranormal, and he's gonna be really
hmm
excited about it. You
yep.
know, Bill Murray, he's kind of like Venkman is the only one where it's kind of like you're not even really sure. Like we said at the beginning, he didn't even act like he believes in any of it.
hmm
He's
yeah.
just doing it. You know, so
hmm
you don't really know like what his. I guess you don't, in a lot of ways, know what his motives are, why he's doing it, what he's going to say or do. So,
yeah. Yeah, no,
mm.
I 1,000% agree. Look at us. All right, last category slash award, freshest take. What did this movie do that others didn't, or that was really cool?
I don't know. For me, it made, and I need to go back. I would like to research this though. Um, I don't know. It made ghosts funny to me, you know. And I think in a lot of ways, if you say, "Have you seen a movie about ghosts?" Like it's almost inevitably going to be something scary. Somebody's always
Mm-hmm.
going to pick something scary, and that's fine, you know. But
Yep.
like things like ghosts don't have to be scary, you know. They
Yeah.
could be really really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and even movies like you can take those horror movie tropes and make them like in Cabin in the Woods is a really
Mm-hmm.
good example, you know, of
Yeah.
taking those things and kind of twisting them around and making something different. That's not to say you can't make a standard ghost movie. You can't make a not good standard ghost movie these days, you know, but like
Mm-hmm.
taking things from one genre and kind of twisting them to a specific point to where they're familiar enough but different enough to where it hooks you, and you're like, oh, this isn't gonna be like a horror movie. This is about ghosts, but it's not scary, you know.
Yep. Yep,
So
100%. I wrote the same thing, honestly. So I thought it was a pretty groundbreaking like concept. Like if you think about, like you said, scary movies or horror or with ghosts, it's always scary. And I think this really laid the groundwork for a lot of other movies that followed. Yeah, I looked at like Beetlejuice. Like that's a pretty spooky concept, but it's a funny movie. You
mm-hmm,
look at Zombieland, like zombies, super scary. They eat you.
mm-hmm,
But that movie, those all of them are hilarious.
right,
Like I think um, because Ghostbusters exists and because it was so successful, I think it inspired other people um, to branch out and try something new, especially in like again because it's not a horror movie, but in like a
mm-hmm,
horror much wider genre. Like it
mm-hmm,
allowed people to be a little bit more creative and fun. So
yeah.
I
And I mean, just the I mean, we're still watching Ghostbusters movies today. Not just watching
hmm
that one, but like they're still getting released. You know, case
hmm
in point, Frozen Empire's, you know, 48 hours old at this point, you know.
hmm
But it's what, like how many years after the original? Is it like it's
40.
like 40, yeah, 40.
1984 is
I'm
when
not
the
good with
original came
math. I
out.
don't know if you heard me say I'm a social worker. That means I'm not good with numbers. So, so I was like, I can do this. There's a four in both of them, so it's got to be.
Let me get out my abacus. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
that's why you're the numbers guy.
Hey, we make a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the last couple there on the same page. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Any last thoughts? Anything else in your mind about the movie in general? Anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to cover? Or
No, just honestly, I just really enjoyed getting to like watch and analyze a movie that I've just casually watched for years and really, really enjoyed for years and years. It's fun
yeah,
to go into it with like the mindset of like picking categories instead of just watching it. It gives me, kind of gives you a different outlook on
yeah.
a movie you've seen a billion times. So,
Yeah, instead of just being a consumer of something, you're
hmm
trying to find something. And I think, this movie may not have had like all of the themes or, different things that like, like
hmm
Saltburn, had a lot of different like stuff in it, a lot
right.
of imagery and,
hmm
and that was a pretty deep movie. This really isn't. It's a great movie though. And I think
hmm
sometimes it's good to just kind of like take it easy, just kind of chill.
hmm
Like this was a very successful movie, very fun movie, and I think, like you said, we're still watching it to this day. It's inspiring all kinds of
hmm
stuff. So, well, if that's it, guess we can kind of do our like just same old. Appreciate all you guys for I really do appreciate
hmm
just the support, whether people like verbally texting, calling, whatever, interacting with us on social media or on YouTube, wherever it is.
hmm
Do appreciate the feedback always, and for people tuning in, because we're not perfect. We're figuring out what we're doing,
Yeah.
but we're having
Yeah.
a good time, and
hmm
it's always good to like kind of why we started this podcast, just to kind of like put ourselves out there and to have some fun. So,
hmm
but as always, appreciate the support, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that kind of good stuff. Feeding ideas is also great. Would love to hear what people would want to
Right.
see or would want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
So
That'd be fun to do like a people's voted one.
yeah,
What should we
yeah.
watch next?
What should we watch next? Maybe it'll come soon. Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Who knows?
But until then, as always, appreciate y'all. Now this
Is
is pod.
podcast. Come on.
We're gonna get it someday.
Yeah,
Peace out.
eventually.